The next day it was back to work. Kosjem brought fabric and wood into her workhouse. She had a modest workforce, but she also did much of the work herself. Those pieces that were handmade fetched a slightly larger price than Pentock. The workroom doubled as a storefront as well, though she rarely had customers in Solheim. There were 2 local customers before the afternoon break that day. They wanted quick replacements for broken furniture and were within walking distance. That was always the reasoning for local customers. She was happy to take their money just the same, and hoped that someone would see her furniture and want more of the craftsmanship that was so appreciated in the Gregoran territory. "Everyone, you did great work today. We'll have our next shipment ready by tonight at this rate. It's a small shipment, but we should wrap things up for the holiday."
"Shattering cold's tomorrow, isn't it?" said one of the workers.
"Yes, you can tell because we're all sweating so much. You'll have nice cold showers at home and a day to relax while I head back to Elam and take the transport to Pentock."
"Are you going to make it to Chordek this time?"
"Shattering Cold is a much bigger holiday in Chordek. No one wants new furniture then. This shipment is just to Pentock. I won't be able to bring back any sweet stew." There was an audible groan from all the workers. "You could always take the trip yourselves if you wanted that badly."
"Could you at least get to Tronkos? I would love some Tronkos red," another worker said.
"No," Kosjem shivered. "I don't want my crew drunk, hungover, or stinking when we come back to work in 2 days."
"I won't be drunk or hungover."
Kosjem left the room after all the workers had gone. She had to adjust to the light, but she scanned the street. There was actually a new restaurant opened. Sweet Stew. That was convenient. She looked through the window and saw a local. He would definitely burn it. "Can you believe that? Who's going to want that garbage here?" a man said. The voice was familiar. Kosjem turned to the stranger. It was the man who fought the king's brother. "You!"
"Yes, me. Who are you?" the man said.
"My name's Kosjem. You're the man who fought—"
"Ah, I wondered whether you would have seen that."
"What's that supposed to mean?"
"That you obviously work on the road and the showcase can be expensive."
Kosjem balled her fists and took 1 step toward him. "I saved for it, but I wasn't there to see you or watch a fight of any kind." The man did not respond. "I actually wanted to talk to you, amazingly enough."
"Why do you want to talk to me if you don't care about the fights?"
"Your name?"
"Banquet. It is actually common in Gregoran territory."
"That's not what Are you Gregoran?"
"No, I'm not. I assumed you were. You look like you're in the Gregora clan."
Kosjem pulled on her shirt to straighten it. "The clan is Taldui," Banquet scoffed. "And that's not what I meant. I mean your family name, Risemtek. What clan is that?"
"Ratis. You should have known that already."
So it wasn't Laris. "So why were you fighting?"
"There are a lot of Ratis soldiers."
"I don't mean soldiers, I mean on stage. Why fight the king's brother?"
"I didn't know I'd be fighting the king's brother before I arrived. I just wanted to fight."
"Why?"
"Same reason everyone there does. I wanted recognition. Either I'd die an interesting death, or I'd be a champion and people would remember me."
"It's childish, like a young boy. If they remembered you for winning yesterday, it would just be a small note along with many other winners. You survived a fight with others seeking glory, then lived your normal, boring life afterward."
"Or I could come back. Especially a winner who doesn't take a life when he defeats his opponent. That kind of self-restraint is
pointless. So you want to hurt them just enough that people take notice. There are many men like you all over this colony who just aren't lucky enough to get into the showcase."
"Well, I have enough money to last me another year now. I think it was worth it." "Why did you go if you weren't interested in the fights? The fights are the highlight of the show."
"Does your family... do you make the children's plays?"
Banquet looked confused. "The children's plays? Why do you care? Do you have any children?"
"No, not yet. I'm just interested in them."
"I don't make the children's plays. I have cousins that do, however. In fact, one of them had her story chosen for yesterday's showcase. The other cousins performed on stage.
She was right. I would love to perform in the children's plays. I've wanted to ever since I was a child myself.
Banquet turned away and said, I don't really know how my family does those things, but I'm going to guess that their group is rather small and closed. If you thought you could get to know me and have a way in, you were wrong. I have no influence in my family. Even if I were to win 5 years straight, my family wouldn't care. You can try to talk to them yourself, but...
Damn.
She was not one to believe in fate or guidance, but it had seemed as though everything was lining up too perfectly to not end in something great.
She supposed that was the very same childish drive that brought her to the children's stories in the first place. Why don't you have any influence in your family?
The life I chose. I wander and I fight. Not the most realistic life for someone expected to find his place in the line.
You mean you have no girlfriend?
No. I haven't had a girlfriend since I was 15 years old. No chance at an heir. My family wants me to relinquish my place to my younger sister.
Can you do that? Kosjem said, and her mouth hung open.
It's actually somewhat common in Gregora. I love Keigos and I love Salheim, but if it's the only way my family has a line, I would see about moving us somewhere friendly. Avadi or Elam, perhaps. Maybe even Passe.
Kosjem's stomach lurched. Elam isn't so friendly, and honestly neither are Avadi and Passe. In fact, they are likely more dangerous than Chordek for someone loyal to Keigos.
Banquet stared at Kosjem to the point of discomfort.
I can see that I bothered you. I should be...
What happened to you in Gregora?
Was she that obvious? People in Salheim were supposed to be cooler and calmer than the rest of the colony. They did not let their emotions take control. But she supposed she had spent too much time traveling to really be like the others in Salheim.
I can tell something bad happened.
My boyfriend was murdered. He was a Keigos loyalist in Elam. Banquet lowered his eyes.
The only way to get out of this is to get married and have a child, but I have no interest in those kind of relationships. I suppose it doesn't matter what I want.
You should go to Pentok. It's more Gregoran territory, but you can disappear into a crowd. I hear there are nearly 1 million people there.
My sister and her family would never be happy in a place like that.
Both of them sat on the steps of the Sweet Stew restaurant.
Chordek is kind of like Salheim, isn't it? Even has that same target shape. Almost a deliberate copy, as though he needed to prove his right to rule by taking everything from us.
Chordek is still a beautiful city. It doesn't compare to Salheim, but if it weren't for my loyalties, I could see myself living there, Kosjem said. She sighed. At least I could have all the sweet stew I wanted. Banquet laughed.
You really like this stuff?
I do. Get some every time I take a trip to Gregora. Bring some back for my workers. Someone must have realized and opened this restaurant here. They won't do it right, though. They'll burn it.
That just gives it character.
Kosjem stuck out her tongue and groaned. Banquet smiled.
I don't want to raise a child, but I wish I had one just to pass on my place in the line.
We're in lesser families. Does it even matter at this point?
Of course it does. At least if we have a place in the line, we get to come back the next time. Maybe do it better. Or, I guess anyway. I would even love to just have the affection of my own family. I can't see myself living their boring lives, but it's unbearable to know they feel nothing for me.
All because you don't have an heir?
Well, yes. You're a little young, so I don't know if you can understand yet. Everyone has been calling me to stop my wandering lifestyle and bear an heir. My father even personally regretted giving his place at the line to me, but he won't change it. He's too proud and too Keigosite.
I don't think I want another person. I love my boyfriend. He was very smart, and someone who held on to what he believed even if he was surrounded by people who challenged him on it. The irony is that I could actually have an heir, but I... Banquet leaned back.
Are you...
pregnant? 4 months. Can you believe it? And the daddy is scattered in a field somewhere.
Marry me.
It took Kosjem a few moments to register what he had said. What?
Marry me. You said you would never feel for another man what you felt for your boyfriend. I have no interest in settling down and marrying, but I need an heir. We can help each other. My family can help you raise the child, and when I'm there, I can train them to take my place.
Kosjem shook her head, mouth open.
Listen, it's perfect. We don't even need to make love. You already have the baby on the way. He's not broke tea, right?
No, not broke tea.
I think the eyes would have been too hard to explain, but otherwise we can fake it. This would be my child, and
Banquet thought for a moment.
And you could get on stage in the children's plays. We could both get what we wanted and what we needed.
We would have to make love. At least once. I'm not ready to betray his memory like that.
It would be one time. It wouldn't even have to be long. They wouldn't expect it to be long if it were our first time. Once they found out you were pregnant, they may just guess that you didn't have any energy. It would all work out.
It's not a simple matter of tricking someone into thinking we're in love. I don't want to betray his memory by sleeping with you. Banquet slumped on the stairs. Listen, the idea wasn't completely terrible. If it weren't for the wedding night, it may have worked, Kosjem said.
Well, I need to figure something out quickly.
Kosjem felt sick to her stomach. She wasn't actually considering his proposal, was she? Her boyfriend had died only days before. She had not even had a chance to mourn him as life just continued on, and she distracted herself with everything she could. As he pointed out, however, this would be a marriage of convenience for both of them. They would not be a traditional married couple. The most important thing would be that she would have help raising the baby. The baby would even have a place on the line. That still meant no heir for her, but she didn't care about the heir as much as everyone around her did. She was having his baby, and the baby would be well taken care of. That was all she cared about. Let's talk more about this. I don't want to sleep with you, but it's just one night, and my child will be taken care of. Banquet sat up and his lip twitched.
We'll talk.
He handed her a card and bowed. Very formal and businesslike for a marriage proposal. She thought a while and said to herself, what the hell did I just get myself into? Come back to this channel for part 3 in a week or so. This is a companion story to Diamond Spearhead, available on Amazon now. As strange as it feels to say this, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Especially share. That's more important than the other two.